So this video is on making yogurt. This is the almost finished product. But I wanted to, before it all started, I want to give you a real quick tutorial on how to make your own yogurt from start to finish. So basically, first what you are going to do is you're going to be getting a slow cooker. You put some milk in some jars. These are my jars that I used. Put them in a slow cooker. I'll put some water in there for a water bath. That keeps the temperature a lot better. You're going to raise up the temperature to 180 degrees. You're going to hold at 180 degrees for about 30 minutes or so. And then you are going to cool or allow the warm milk to cool to about 120 degrees. At that point, you are going to take some yogurt or a yogurt starter. I use a yogurt from the store, and then I just keep on using the ends of the previous batch as a starter. So you add that to the hot milk when it drops down to 120 degrees, and you are going to maintain 115 to 110 degrees for approximately 8 hours. At that point, your yogurt should be fully incubated, on which then take it, and then you can either stir it up, stick it in the fridge, and enjoy some yogurt, or you can strain it for Greek yogurt. I hope you enjoy this video. It'll give you kind of a time-lapse compressed as you go. Thank you. Thumbs up. Alright, this is a tutorial for making yogurt. You can use this to make Greek yogurt or plain normal yogurt, just depends on how much you strain it. First thing you're gonna do is fill up your jars with milk. I use 2%, but you can use whole for a creamier and thicker yogurt, or skim for less fat, whichever your preference is. You're gonna lose a little bit to evaporation, but you still don't want to fill up all the way, because later on you're going to be mixing some yogurt in there. So what I got here is 3 jars of milk and 1 jar of starter. All starter is yogurt. That's the cheapest way to do it anyway. You can either use store-bought yogurt, or if you're making yogurt at home, you can just save a little bit to mix in. Putting the lids on here so I can transport my slow cooker. I'll set my jars of milk in the slow cooker. I pick it up to take to the sink. We're going to fill up slow cooker for a water bath. This way it's a little easier to control, because the whole point of this is to get the milk up to 180 degrees, cool it down to about 115, and mix the starter in, then maintain 110 to 115 for 4 to 12 hours. I usually do it for about 8. I got that going. Turn on my cooker. I usually start at a high setting to start with. That way it brings up the water, which is pretty cold, up to temperature a little faster. And once it starts warming up, then I will lower it down to warm. And today I'll be doing something a little bit different. I'll actually be timing it to see how long it takes to get to temperature at different I know when I'm incubating, if I set this particular Hamilton Beach slow cooker on warm, it takes 5 minutes to get from 110 to 115. So I'll just cycle that back and forth just to maintain that 110 to 115 temperature. So next time you see, in a minute, for you, I'll be mixing starter in once the, no, that's not true. I'll be filming again at 180 degrees real quick, and then cutting out to when we're back to 115. It's been about 20 minutes. I forgot to mention before, I like to toss some towels on the top of the crock pot to keep the temperature warmer, and later on I'll keep them on to keep it stable. So it's been about 20 minutes. Started at 60 degrees, now at 80 degrees. So 20 more minutes for 100, 40 minutes for 120, an hour for 140. So it's going to be about another hour and 40 minutes before we reach temperature, but I'll check every 20 minutes or so to see how we're going. Well, it's been about an hour. We are up to almost about 110, 115. So I'm going to keep on going like this, check another 20, 30 minutes. Here we go again. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes. See where we are at. We are at about 130, 135. Once we get up to, I'd say probably 160, 170, probably 170, I'm going to take it down to warm. Yeah, I'll take it down to warm and see how that goes. You don't want to heat up this too fast because you need the proteins of the milk to break down. So, but I'm doing a pretty good job. I'm thinking over an hour and a half, 2 hours is where you want to be. Well, it's been about 2 hours. Let's check that temp. About 170. Target temp's 180. So let's change it down to low. That way we don't overshoot it. Check again a little bit. Alright, it's been about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Not quite 180, pretty close. So now some instructions tell you to hold 180 for 30 minutes. Others tell you to start cooling it down. So I pretty much go half and half. Turn on low because it's warm because that's a little cooler, and we're not quite to 180. As soon as we get to 180, I'll probably turn it off. Let it sit there. If it gets a little chilly, I'll turn it on warm again. But I don't really try to keep it at 180 real hard. But I let it cool down while it's insulated with the blankets and stuff for at least a half hour before I do it. I'm supposed to give it a little more creamy and consistent consistency. Alright, it's been about a half hour. So let's take this out, set it on the counter so it cools quicker. I'm going to cool it to about 115 degrees. Then we're going to mix the starter in. If you want to cool it down faster, obviously you can toss some ice or something in there. But I don't think it really needs it. But if you're in a hurry, you can go ahead and do that. See you in a bit. Here we are. Looks like we're about cooled to just over 115. The yogurt starter will bring it down to 115 for sure. So now it is time to inoculate the yogurt. And there'll be lots of recipes that say use this amount or that amount. It really doesn't matter. I've found that no matter what you put in, it works. So I got some leftover, the ends of the last yogurt that I'm using as the starter. I'm going to put about 2 spoons in each one. Whatever that turns into, it doesn't really matter. And mix it all up. Lid back on. Get my thermometer back in there. Put it back in my crock pot. Let's see, where are we at? See, now we're at 110-ish. So, I like to get clock closer to 115. Now I have found that placing it on warm for 5 minutes gets it back up 5 degrees. So, come back in about 3 or 4 minutes and check it, and then let it go. So I like to keep between 110, 115, and I do that for about 8 hours. You could do it as little as 4, as much as 12. I just do 8. I should mention, I cover it back up to make sure heat is retained as much as possible. It's back up to 115. Turned it off. Check it every once in a while, make sure it stays between 110 and 115. Cycle on and off. I'm not going to show you all that. Just know you want to stay between 110 and 115. Don't get much above 115, you'll kill it. Much less than 110's still not desirable. You'll get kind of less creamy, a little more liquidy yogurt. Alright, it's been about 8 hours, so we should be good. Can't take it off. There's a little bit of whey on top. You see that? You got 2 options here. Now you can either mix it all up, stick it in the fridge, and have standard yogurt, or you can go and strain some out. Strain some of the acid whey out, and that will make a more Greek style. It just depends on how thick you want it and how much you will take out. What I'm going to be doing is I have a colander here with a bowl underneath to catch the acid whey. I have some cheesecloth right here. Other options are just a simple coffee filter. You can put it in there. It just takes a longer, unless you got a real big coffee filter or something like that. But this is just to strain some of the acid whey out. So all I'm gonna do is take this, pour it in there. Because I like a Greek style yogurt for 2 reasons. One, it's a little more protein per weight. The other thing with bigger is I like to use Greek yogurt as sour cream, and you definitely need it a lot thicker to really match the consistency of sour cream. So let's see if we can see anything coming out. You see it dripping a little bit. That is the acid whey coming out. I recommend saving the acid whey. Use it in any recipe that calls for water. You can also drink it. It's a little tangy, little tart, but it's not bad. It's really good for you. Don't throw it out. Use it in something. You can even put in like a brownie mix or a cake mix or anything that calls for water. You can use that for that, and add a little protein, and it won't really change the taste at all. I hope you liked the video. I might do a little more produced one later on.